Audio check. We're live. What's going on, everybody? So if you can hear me and you can see me, first and foremost down below, go ahead and drop a yes. I know we see a few people saying that they couldn't hear or see us. We're still trying to dial in all of the tech on this side. We're trying to cross-stream to different platforms, different groups, and always trying to bring you guys the best quality, the best production that we can, right? So if you guys can hear me, you guys can see me down below, go ahead and drop a yes. And if you're watching this replay, go ahead and fast forward maybe a minute, 2 minutes to the good stuff and the questions start coming in because we do this live. For those of you, this is your first time on the live stream, welcome. First time on the channel, welcome. First time ever being in my world or universe, welcome. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Our goal for this live stream, for this Q&A, for this show, this time with the Millionaire series that we're doing is to help you guys, is to help the community, and pretty much answer any questions that you guys have, business related whatsoever, in regards to starting your business, growing your business, scaling your business. So the only dumb question is one that does not get asked. So regardless of where you are, regardless of what your question is, go ahead and take the time now to go ahead and drop those questions down below in the chat. And as they start to come in, we will answer them in chronological order. Again, the only dumb question is a question that does not get asked. And also, I talk about this so many times, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to keep reinforcing it. One of the best skill sets that you can get in your life, that you can learn, and it's self-learned and self-created. You don't have to go to school for it. It doesn't cost you money to do. You just have to implement it and improve it and work on it and optimize it, is asking questions. Because when you do have the time to ask the right person the right question, that right person, that right timing, that right question can exponentially increase your business, and it can even change your life, right? Perfect example, I remember I was chatting with Marcus Lemonis back at a mastermind that I'm in, I would say maybe a month ago, and his time is so short because he's super busy, and everybody in our mastermind group that's in our level was able to ask him one question. And we didn't know we were going to do this. They didn't give us weeks notice or days notice. Like, you guys know every Friday I'm on here, so you guys have time to prepare for the questions and come up with these juicy questions. And I was like, dude, I had like 3-minute notice, and I was like number 4 to ask him a question. I was like, oh my God, there's so much stuff I want to ask you. And I really had to like focus on, okay, what is that one question that he would be the best to answer that would get me that exponential result? So for those of you that know Marcus Lemonis, was on the show The Prophet and owns Camping World. He's the CEO of Camping World. Well, he also has several dozen other companies. So long story short, I was able to identify a question that I was able to ask him around scaling, managing multiple different businesses without losing the quality or losing the service or the image. And he answered it flawless. Maybe I'll put it on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe if we get a ton of likes on this video and we get a ton of people saying you should do it, maybe I'll go ahead and put our 5-minute conversation on YouTube. That way you guys can hear it. The guy's very, very successful, someone I look up to. So it looks like we have some questions, guys. Again, if you're tuning in, go ahead and drop those questions down below. And if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you guys are subscribed, guys, because every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're dropping new videos. Every Monday is a new value video. Every Wednesday is a new 7-figure product series video. And every Friday we do this, right? Go ahead and pop the questions up if we have any questions. Not really an FBA question, but what inspires you to give away free game? Jay, like, full transparency, this is a value play for me, right? It's about the impact at this point for me, not the income. My hobby off to the side of video games, well, specifically Call of Duty, that's the only hobby I have, is growing businesses and building businesses. And over the last several years, growing my businesses, increasing my net worth, and becoming, what I kind of consider okay in the business world. One of the most like passion-driven things that's been the most fulfilling for me is to help people, because I like distinctively remember those nights when I was grinding and I was trying to get my questions answered, and I had questions and I was scoundering the internet. I could not find the quality content or the direct specific content that I needed to answer my questions. So kind of something that I do to give back to the people and to help the community, regardless of how big this channel grows or how small it stays, because to be honest, it hasn't grown how I've expected, full transparency. That's why we ask you guys to sub and like and share and have notifications on and all that stuff. I don't do it to be a YouTuber or to grow stats. I do it because I enjoy doing it. That's why we invest so much money in production. Like I've invested 6 figures into our studio. Everything that I try to educate you guys on is zero fluff, same quality as the stuff in my programs and courses and packages that I charge, thousands and sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars for. So there's a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And there's a cheesy saying about money and about success that money can't buy you happiness. And I was just having a conversation about this yesterday. Like, how many of you guys down below in the chat feel like if you had X amount of money or net worth and could buy certain things that your life would be a little bit better? Like, let's be honest, like down below, like if you were able to grab your dream car or live in your dream home or go on a shopping spree without worrying about the budget, do you feel that your life would be different, right? And chances are many of you guys who have not been able to do this, the answer is yes, right? I'll answer it for you because I've been in your shoes. And I remember that answer for me was yes. And then I started to get the stuff, and then you realize that you're the exact same person. And fulfillment comes from doing fulfilling things. And there's different stages of success, and there's different stages of what it is that you want in life, right? Different dreams, different goals, different ambitions, and they're tied to different levels of sacrifice. So it's like when you don't have these things, you feel like, man, if I just had these things, I would be happy. I would be more entertained. I would feel better. I wouldn't argue as much with my family or whatever it is. And then you start to get them. You're like, holy crap, none of this changed. I'm the same person. I just have more crap. So it wasn't until I started to literally just knock off everything, all of these lists, like traveling to 30 plus countries, the businesses, the cars, all this stupid stuff that doesn't matter. I started to knock off all these check all these boxes that I had. And I was like, this stuff isn't fulfilling. And I remember like my Amazon business, and this is full transparency, like my Amazon business and my one main product made me a millionaire. That business I'm grateful and thankful for learning what I learned, being introduced to the people that I was introduced to, learning the market, starting at the time I did. It made me a millionaire on paper, and it changed my family's life. However, like going from being broke, felon at 18, no high school diploma, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, living in shelters, volunteering for food, like being poor basically, to having that net worth change, your goals start to change and your fulfillment changes. See, when you're hungry and you're trying to get to that first stage of success, you're willing to sacrifice a lot more, and you can't really focus on doing fulfilling things like this because you're in survival mode. But once you hit that pinnacle where it's like, okay, I'm not in survival mode anymore, like I'm comfortable, like I'm crushing goals. Now it's like, what do you do next? And it's like, for me, selling a bunch of random crap wasn't doing it. Yeah, we were making really good money, but it didn't do it for me. So that's why, like, if you go back and look on this channel is like almost 5 years old. You go back and look at some of the beginning videos from like 2015, 2016. That's right after I became a millionaire with my Amazon business. You can see our warehouse. You can see all the packages and the orders and me building my business. You can also see me honing my craft because it was boring. I talked like this. It was very monochromatic and it was boring. And I wanted to like vomit every time I got on camera. So I wasn't always like this. And I was like, I enjoy this. And I remember where I came from and where I started. So that was an elongated, like over exaggerated answer. But hopefully you guys get the lesson from that, right? Like, guys, you have different, it's okay to change your goals and to change your passions throughout developing what success is for you. Success means something different to everybody. Not everybody, it's a monetary gain or a net worth value. For some people, it's different, right? For most people, it's different. So when you hit that pinnacle, the sacrifice is going to be different. The strive is going to be different. The struggles are going to be different. What is fulfilling to you at that time is going to be different. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it took me a long time to understand that. And I suffered from a lot of depression and a lot of struggle trying to figure that out, because I was like, okay, I'm becoming not the same person, not in a bad way, but it's like, dude, working 17 hours a day is not like, it's not fulfilling to me anymore. And I couldn't figure out why. And like one of my good friends, Alex Hermosi, he's really helped me identify a lot of stuff. He's like, dude, you're not the same person in survival mode trying to make the first $1 million. You're trying to become happy and fit and work on your relationship and all this other stuff. It's a different fulfillment. So for me, it's all about the fulfillment and giving back. I remember where I came from. And I hope, like, even if a few of you guys take this information, you run with it, guys, like, it took me years of my life I'll never get back. and literally tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars in hard lessons in my life to be able to teach you guys what I teach you guys here on the channel. Because everything I teach you guys and everything I speak about, I have experience in, or I've done myself, or I've invested a lot of money to learn from someone who has. How much does it take to start up a lucrative business? So when you're looking at business, there's a few things that you want to look at. One of the main things being like, what is a lucrative business? Like previously, I just mentioned that success is different to different people. Success or a lucrative business to one person may be 10K a month. Another person may be 3K a month. Another person has to be 100K a month. So first and foremost, in order to be prolific, you have to be specific. So something that I work on, and there's a video on my channel, it's called the Freedom Formula. I would work on your Freedom Formula. The Freedom Formula looks like this. What is success for you? What do you need to make or generate on a consistent basis in order to get where you want to get in business or in life? If you want to make enough money to quit your job, what does that look like? If you want to keep your job, but you want to make enough extra money on top of that to, I don't know, go camping on the weekends or to buy a hot rod that you can work on, like whatever that thing is for you, identify it and be as very specific as possible. Then reverse engineer it. Okay, this is what I want. How much does it cost? Okay, now that I understand how much does it cost, this is what I need to make. And then that will answer your question. Like, what is a lucrative business, or how much does it take to build a lucrative business? Because I can tell you that you can get into real estate developing, and it's a super lucrative business. But then I can say, hey, you need $1 million entry. I can tell you that you can get into day trading, and it's very lucrative, but you can start with a couple $1,000s. I could introduce you to starting physical products. Like we have tons of them. That's what we talk about on the channel. And depending on what you want to make or what is lucrative for you, that dictates what your starting point is, right? Because it costs different amounts. Like to sell and develop this table costs significantly more than 100 pack of these, right? This table may make you $5,000 a month. This may make you $900 a month, right? I'm just throwing numbers out there, but hopefully that helps. So here on the channel, we talk about a bunch of different ways that you can start businesses, primarily Amazon, because that's what I'm an expert at, and that's what changed me and my family's life. Are debit cards really rejected during Amazon registration, and how to get a U.S. credit card as a non-resident? Yeah, so if you don't have history and you're not grandfathered on Amazon, they're going to want to see a credit card, because with a debit card, like you can have a balance and then get approved and then remove all the money from the balance. And if Amazon charges a debit card, it's going to get bounced. There's no way for them to get their money. When you have a credit card, Amazon charges the credit card. There's no way to retract your limit. Therefore, it's a way to guarantee Amazon gets paid, right? There's tons of ways that you can get credit cards outside of the country. So I would just Google and see which ones work for you. American Express is huge. Like we have clients all across the globe that utilize American Express. One of the main credit cards that I use is American Express. My private banker, I'm a Chase private client, and my banker just called me literally, what was that, 2 days ago, a day ago? It was yesterday actually, and was talking about the Chase, it was, what is it, Premier? The Chase Bank Premier card, which is new, something they're rolling out to actually compete with American Express. Their current like top of the line card is the Preferred, Chase Preferred. The new one is the Chase Premier. So they said it's going to be like a third of the fee per year. It's going to have tons of special incentives. There's no cap on 2% earnings, and on purchases over 5,000, it's 2.5%. So once I get that card and that's like big and we review it and analyze it, I'll probably make a video on that versus the Amex, because I primarily use two American Expresses, one being the Platinum and one being the Gold. My personal opinion for people in this business, the Amazon business and the business in general, is the Gold, because you get more points. Platinum's a little bit more for traveling, but you can't go wrong having both if you travel and you're in business. So yeah, in regards to being out the country, if you want to start an Amazon business and you live out the US, regardless, even if your country is verified to sell on Amazon, 9 times out of 10, it's better for you to sell on the US marketplace, because it's the largest with the least barrier to entry. So we actually have a partner that we refer our clients to that are specialists in entity creation, reclassification of geographic locations for businesses, business structure setup, and tax savings for people out of the country. That way you can create your entity in a tax preferred state that's beneficial for you. And then you can actually use those documentation to create your Amazon account. So if you just email support, like we'd love to connect you with them, regardless if you're a client or not. If you're out the country, this will help you. Just email support@theamzformula.com and subject line starting in LLC out of the US, or subject line selling on US from out the country, something like that. And then just briefly say, hey, I was on Josh's live. He said that you guys have a partner you can refer me to create an entity and help me get my Amazon account set up when I live outside the country. And they'll help you do all of that. Hop on a Zoom call, the whole 9 yards. Can I operate 2 brands in one seller account at the same time? Yeah, absolutely. So here's a perfect example. Let's go to the whiteboard really quick. I'll kind of break this down. So this is a really good question. This is something that I get asked a lot. Let me go ahead and pull up a new sheet. Can you sell on Amazon and have multiple brands under one account? So this is a quick illustration. We really got to clear some of these, bro. Yeah, I can't. We need to transfer all these slides to a hard drive or something so I don't have to worry about the anxiety of losing this $1 million worth of game. Cool. So the way it works, come on, guy, move on over. Come on, buddy. There she is. All right. So the way it works is I'll give you my example, right? Crisp Holdings. This is one example. Crisp Holdings. This can be whatever you want it to be, right? This can be Crisp Brands, whatever this wants. It doesn't matter what the name of this is, right? This entity right here, and the structure is kind of like an umbrella. This is the main holding company, and then it has subsidiaries, right? It has subsidiaries. So these subsidiaries could be different brands, right? So brand 1, brand 2, brand 3. So you can have this umbrella set up just like this, and all of these are underneath this main entity. So it depends on, there's no right or wrong way for this too, guys. There's no right or wrong way for which one should you do. It all boils down to, like, where do you live? What is the best structure for your business and for your business type? I'm not an accountant or CPA. This is not legal advice, blah, 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 blah. However, you want to identify what you're doing, how you want to do it, and you want to consult with a professional, right? A tax professional, a CPA, somebody. You don't even have to hire them full-time on payroll. You can pay them for an hour at a time, and they'll help you structure it. The reason why I can't give you a cookie cutter like ABC answer is because me and Eros may be 50-50 partners. If I'm 50-50 partners on brand number 2, then I don't want this under the umbrella. Why don't I want it on the umbrella? Because these subsidiaries are all under my entity that I have 100% ownership on. However, if I am 100% owner and I'm the chairman of Crisp Holdings and I have 3 brands underneath them and nobody else has equity and it's not structured any different way, then I can do so. Also, like, do you plan on selling them? There's multiple different questions that you want to ask yourself. But generally speaking, you can have multiple generic or regular brands underneath your one Amazon account. Typically, what happens is if you're going all in on growing these brands, you will have one Amazon account and you'll have different brands per Amazon account. Amazon really wants you to only have one brand, one Amazon account. If you ask for another Amazon account, they want a valid reason why. So one of the only valid reasons is that you have a separate entity. And the reason you have a separate entity is because you have a business partner and it's considered a conflict of interest. If you have your account, right? This is your account. If you have your account sharing account number 2 and account number 2, you have 50-50 partnership, right? In reference to equity, but account 1, you have 100% equity. So a lawyer can actually draft something up for you and then you can submit it to Amazon because they're going to ask, why do you need another account? They don't want you to have another account because they want things to be very simple for you, very easy to manage, right? Like your success as an Amazon seller is their success. However, you can get separate accounts and that's one of the easiest ways to do so. If we would like to increase the quality of cardboard for packaging or the crush factor, are there different grades, thicknesses, or cardboard we can ask our supplier for? Really good question. Oh man, we should definitely set the overhead cam up next time. Really good question. So I talk about this a lot in the 7-Figure Product series. If you guys haven't checked that series out, check that series. However, I'm not a cardboard pro, but I can tell you this from my experience. What increases the crush factor, and here, just hand me one of these boxes and give me like this crappy one right here. So what increases crush factor is the design. There's two things that increases the crush factor. So number one, you have the thickness of the corrugation. The corrugation are just corrugated boxes, which are cardboard, right? And go back up here to the whiteboard really quick. Go ahead, guys, and screenshot this really quick so you guys have this information. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Screenshot it, screenshot it, screenshot it. 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. So really quick, just to draw it out, most corrugated boxes, this is a side view of a box, right? Like you have a box, and this is this right here, like the actual walls of a box. Inside the corrugated boxes, you have designs that engineers and architects create for the strength of the box. If you look at it very, very closely, you'll see these different triangles. These boxes that are cardboard are called corrugated boxes, right? I'm not even going to spell that because I'm going to butcher it. You guys are going to butcher me. However, they're called corrugated boxes. So when you want to increase or improve the crush factor, right? And what crush factor is, guys, is crush factor is the corner of the boxes or the box itself. So do you see how I can do that? Like very, very simply, the crush factor on that box sucks. I have this Nest product. I'm like pushing as hard as I can, and it's not doing anything. That's crush factor, in case you guys don't know, right? So the way you increase the crush factor, improve the box strength itself, is in the corners, one. And then number two, it's in the thickness of the actual corrugation. So number one, the design. And number two, the thickness of the thickness of the material, right? Or the corrugated box itself. I'm not even going to try to spell that. So these are the two biggest ways to improve this quality boxing. Now, for layman's terms, the box that I destroyed, which were we supposed to do a video on this? We were supposed to do a video on this, and I destroyed this box for you guys. But I guess I can give you guys an example. This box sucks because it's just an extension cord. Like, there's no way to like mess this up in transit, right? It's an extension cord. This is a product that actually does 7 figures a year that I'm reviewing on the channel. Probably not now because I destroyed the box, but you really can't break this. This is $20. This is $200, and this is a fragile piece of electronic equipment. It's a thermostat, Nest, right? But look at the difference in the packaging. So me personally, I'm spending the extra, I don't know, 40 cents to make the box even better, because when you receive boxes and it like they look like this, you just like cringe. Like you feel a certain way as a consumer receiving products like this. So how do you increase the quality of the cardboard for the packaging and the crush factor? Focus on these two things. And down below, let us know if you screenshotted this or if you guys need it, so you guys can screenshot it. And oftentimes, sometimes there's different materials. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what that is called, but there's different types of cardboards. So when you're reaching out to the supplier, be very, very specific. Say, hey, I want to increase the crush factor. I don't like the box, it's easy to smash, right? I want to make the quarters reinforced. I want to change the architecture of the box, or I want to just make it more strong and durable. 9 times out of 10, what's gonna happen is your supplier, and here's the thing, guys, don't feel scared like, oh, well, what if they don't have the box? I don't want to, boxing companies and boxing in general is a ginormous company in China. Everything is made in China. Everything made needs boxes. Boom, done. So you're not being a pain in the butt. Be very specific. There's 2 reasons, and this is a really good point. I'm glad we're crossing this. There's 2 big reasons why people jack their Amazon product up and they jack their business up, right? Number 1, and you guys want to write this down because I'm not going to write everything down. So you guys want to write this down because a sharp pencil is better than a sharp mind, number 1. And number 2, there is data, literally data, testing, independent testing that can prove if I speak something to you and you hear it, you're only going to remember 12 to 15% of what I'm saying right now. If you write it down, crumble it up and hit a 3-point shot with it in the garbage, you're going to take that 10 to 15% information retention and you are going to quadruple it. Even if you don't even keep it anymore, you can literally write down these notes, crumble it up, Kobe, and you're going to remember 3 to 5 times more. So that's a little hack on lessons on like learning and information retention. So there's 2 main reasons where everybody messes their products up, especially their first product. Number 1, they are impatient. So when you're developing a product, you're doing product research, you're getting samples, you're doing the whole 9 yards, they're impatient. Like, dude, I've been doing this for like 6 months. I'm not rich yet. I haven't bought my Lambo yet. If I don't launch a product and see it on Amazon's website tomorrow, this is a scam. I hate everybody on the planet, blah, 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 blah. That happens, and then they rush, they launch a crappy product, they make no money, and then they hate the business model forever. That's number 1. Number 2 is not setting clear expectations and having clear communication with suppliers. If they send you stuff that is crap and you know it is crap, well, I kind of like it. This will work for the first test run. This is garbage. Do not send me another box like this. Improve this, this, and this. Do this, this, and this. I want it to look like this, this, and this. By the way, here's the URL to an example of one that I already ordered, and here's a video of one that I already ordered of a competitor who I did due diligence on. Here's the product. Here's the packaging. I want it to open like this. See how I can't smash this? I want this, right? When you're communicating with them, be as specific as humanly possible. Show videos, show pictures, like be as specific as possible, because understand there's a language barrier, a massive language barrier, right? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to thoroughly understand what you're speaking about or what you're trying to communicate, especially if it's a small supplier and not a large manufacturer. Now, when you're talking like big numbers with a manufacturer, chances are like they should have a product rep who's very fluent in English. And I often like to hop on a Zoom call. Like I try to dead that back and forth communication. And that's my personal opinion. Like my friend Alex Becker, he hates talking to humans. Like he will not do business with you if he has to talk to you on the phone. Like he just hates talking. He says this is like the most inefficient thing on the planet Earth. Me, I am not sending you 500 emails to elaborate one freaking thing. We're going to hop on a Zoom. Like you see this right here? No breaky. Good. This breaky, not good. No, right? Like I will bang that thing out on a Zoom video very, very quickly. So you got to find out what works for you, right? And that's what works for me. When preparing for Q4, can you estimate how much more product I should have in inventory? Awesome. Really good question. Let's go to the whiteboard. Cool. So when preparing for Q4, how much inventory do you need? Dang, I should have asked if they need to screenshot that. Whoops. Hopefully you're paying attention. So when you're looking for inventory, this is called inventory management. Inventory management. And it's not only Q4. Let's say you have a product that sells more units during a specific season, like Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, Halloween, whatever, right? When you're prepping for any type of increase, the example is for Q4, what you need to do is you need to get really good at determining the increase of sales. How do we do this? We do this by looking at historical trends, right? So if I'm launching a product in, I don't know, let's just say March and fourth quarter's around the corner and I don't want to like sell out of product and I've never experienced Q4, how do I identify like how much units I should order, right? Well, first and foremost, we're going to look at Google Trends. Google Trends is going to show us the historical data for the increase in volume. Now, it's safe to say that if on Google Trends, quarter 1 to 3 is at, let's just say, 100%, right, for layman's terms, and then quarter 4, historically for the last 3 to 5 years, has went to 300%. Well, this is simple math. This is 3x. You guys follow me down below, say I'm following you. So this is a quick way to determine the increase in the volume and what you should order. Now, number 2, you can look at Keepa. Keepa has a free plugin. Keepa, you can go to the Chrome store and install that. Keepa will also show you historical sales patterns. And they have a Chrome extension, but it will also pop up on your on the actual page on Amazon, and it will show you, and you can change the filters. It will say, okay, this product's been selling since 2015. Okay, cool. Well, let me go back to 2015 to now, and let me look at Q4 for the last 7 years. Okay, they went from 300 units per month to 600 units per month for Q4. That is a 100% increase, right? So if it's an 100% increase and I'm ordering 300 units, well, then I need to double that for 600, and Q4 is 3 months. 3 times 4 is 12, because there's 4 quarters, right? October, November, December. So I need to order 300 times 3, which would be 900 units for Q4. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down below, say I'm getting it. So number 1, screenshot this, guys, so I can make some room here. Screenshot it. You got 3 seconds. Number 1, to recap, is Google Trends. This is for historical trends on volume in reference to search. Number 2 is Keepa, which is going to show you sales patterns in history on sales patterns for your competition, which has been selling. Now, you want to couple that with number 3, which is called a projection. Now, these two, right? Let me change this color. These two right here are what's called factual, and this one right here is what's called data-driven projections. Projections are not guaranteed. Projections is you making a data-driven decision and an analysis based off of an educated decision to determine the path of what that data is going to go. So I know these two are factual, however, because they're history. History is something that happened, so we know that these exist. A projection is a prediction, and a prediction has not occurred. So you have to do your best in reference to data-driven decision-making in order to come up with a projection. How do we make a projection? Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that's what I'm going to illustrate. So let's just say you got started in January, right? And January, February, and March, which is Q1, you sold 100 units in January, which you want to sell way more than 100 units a month. I'm just using this for like simplicity in reference to math. And then in February, you sold 110 units. And then March, you sold 120 units. What you're looking at is when you look at the growth, okay, you're up 10% per month. This is a 10% growth. So the way that you make a data-driven decision is if January, February, March is quarter 1, then you have April, June is quarter 2, and I'm not going to do this for Q3 and Q4 because you'll get the math. If you're growing at a steady 10% per month, well, what's going to happen? This line's going to keep moving at 10% growth per month, and now you're at 130. 140, 150. So you do the math. You're halfway into the year. And in 6 months, which equals 6 months, in 6 months, you went from 100 units per month to 150 units per month. You would then multiply this by 2 for the other 6 months, and now you're at 300 per month. So if you're at 300 per month, and you're ordering 3 months of inventory, 300 times 3 for 3 months of inventory would be 900 units. Does that make sense? Down below, say yes. This is how you make a projection. Now, what's going to happen, like full transparency, here you could do 120 and then come back down to 110 and then stay at 110 and then 160, and you could have a little bit of volatility in there because you never grow at an exact 10% month after month after month after month after month. However, if you take your Google Trends, which is your history, you take your historical sales patterns, and then you couple these two with your projections for sales, you can come up with a very close analysis or a hypothesis as to, like, this is my data-driven decision as to how many units I'm going to sell. And then you can cross-reference it with other sellers who've been selling longer than you, and you'll actually see, okay, it's pretty close. And here's a rule of thumb. Go ahead and screenshot this before we switch over so you guys can have it for your notes. Note takers are money makers. All right. Rule of thumb is to have more than you need than need more than you have. Write that down. Is to have more than you need than need more than you have. Once you've validated and verified your product and you're out of the product launch or product micro launch strategy phase, which is the final phase of testing a product. Because first you validate it, then you verify it. That's what I teach in the AMZ formula. You want to not run out of inventory. Like running out of inventory is very, very bad. However, you limit and mitigate risk in the early stages through possibly running out of inventory during that micro stage. And again, this isn't the best way. This isn't the best way, the only way. There's two ways. You over order inventory and plan for not running out, which is all goes well, the product is a rock star, or you order enough so that you can move nimbly and liquidate and move to the next product if it is not a winner. There's different people that say different things. This is from my experience what works the best. And I like to limit the risk and be able to move quickly and dead that product at a slight loss or no loss at all and move to the next one, right? Until we get into that stage. And then you want to make sure that you're not running out of inventory. So hopefully that helps. Make sure for these videos, like these mini lessons, we're writing them down. Where do you see yourself and your Amazon business in the next 10 years? Great question. So where I'm at now is I'm focusing on like building out the teams and the back end and the infrastructures, and I'm delegating. One of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life is not delegating properly or adequately to the right people, and finding compatibility. Like two things when you're delegating or you're trying to grow a big team is number one, compatibility, number one, and number two is delegation to the appropriate people who have the appropriate skill sets, A, and B, second half of that is has the same vision as you, right? So that's where I made mistakes in the past. So my goal has always been to launch a ginormous, like I've done the 7-figure thing, I've done the 8-figure thing. One of my goals is to build out an 8 or even 9-figure large company that I have some ideas on how to do so, and utilizing Amazon and building like this huge like public company around it. However, doing so right now would lose my focus from where I am right now. Like full transparency for you guys on the channel, outside of continuing to produce like the highest quality, most informational content and be the #1 educator in the Amazon space, my primary goals have been wealth conservation and getting back to my original passion. A lot of you guys know, like, dude, this guy's an Amazon genius. He's a branding wizard. He's got like the best content on the channel. Amazon was never my passion. Amazon fell out of the sky into my lap. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, when the student is ready, the master will appear, or the teacher will appear, right? I was fed up, broke, tired, disgusted with my life and praying for opportunity every single day. And I met my mentor who was in manufacturing and was in branding and was in SEO. And that's how I came into this world. Before that, my goal and what I did all my research and all my study on and what my like dream was as an entrepreneur is to be a very large real estate investor. So what I did was kind of backwards. I had no money. I had no credit. Nobody in my family had any real estate experience. I couldn't pay for real estate mentorship or anything like that. So I was looking for opportunity. I found the opportunity, found the mentor, was given a chance, learned all this stuff, crushed it, started making money. And then I took all my money and put it into real estate. I did that from 2016 to 2018. From 2018 to 2020, I didn't buy any real estate. 2021, I started buying real estate again. And then I paused. Right now, we have 50 apartments. It's a 7-figure portfolio. And I recently am learning and starting where I picked off. So where I left off was large commercial deals, syndications, and really value add appreciation. Like I'm talking about big 8-figure deals. That's where I left off that I didn't know. So right now, that's what I'm kind of doing behind the scenes as we're maintaining and sustaining what we're doing across our different companies. And I'm focusing back a little bit more on real estate. My plan for 2022 is to acquire. So my big goal was 100 units forever. We got to 50 and then I stopped, and then COVID happened and all this other crap. And then I got busy. We like 5x'd my company, one of my companies, and then I stopped. So as of right now, our goal is to acquire 100 to 500 units by end of 2022, which will put us at 150 to 250 units. That's my goal this year. And to document and case study the entire thing and teach you guys everything from ground up. So hopefully that happens soon so we can get some new content to the channel, because I know a ton of you guys asked me about that. And I'm not going to be the real estate educator, right? That's not my thing. I'm a little sentimental about the Amazon thing. I hate teaching, to be completely honest. A lot of you guys are like, dude, you're good at it. I hate it. I'm an introvert. I like to eat sushi and play video games, but this business I'm sentimental about because it changed me and my wife's life, right? My children's life, right? We were pretty much screwed until I learned this asset and learned what I teach with you guys. So that's why I'm a little sentimental about the business. What do you look for in a product other than competition and reviews? What do you look for in a product other than competition and reviews? Cool. So, other than competition and reviews, you want to look at the intellectual property to make sure that you're not infringing on any intellectual property. So, like number one, outside of reviews and all of that and revenue, you want to make sure that you're selling something that's not patented, right? Selling something where you're not going to be infringing on intellectual property. This is a perfect example. Other than that, I like to look for the actual overall industry, right? In reference to the overall industry, I mean, what is the potential for expansion and vertical integration in that actual industry, right? It's kind of harder to vertically integrate this product than to get into technology and innovation, right? Just as a perfect example, because this stuff's like right in front of me. So something I like is that I also like products that I feel are going to be very long-term. I don't like products that are like potentially are going to go out of fad or people will stop using or that people don't like. One of our companies is an office supplies company, which that company I will probably take to 8 figures here shortly when I get back and focus on my brand building. It's at 7 figures right now. But I like those products because they will exist forever. It does not matter what technology is increased or what day of age we're in or what country you live in. Those things are needed, right? People will never stop writing, even if like with tablets and all this stuff, people will always need pencils, will always need pens. People will always need paper. They'll always want to draw on things physical. People will always need paper clips and erasers and, desks and all this stuff that's office related. So I like products that are going to be, multi-decade sustainable. What other skill set are you looking for that you have always wanted to learn? So that's an interesting question. So to be honest, if I could go back 15 years, I would be fluent in 3 languages and I would make that very, very, something very, very important that I focused on. That's something that I always wanted to do, but I kind of didn't go full focus on it. That's number one. Number 2 is I also always wanted to take classes on engineering or like architecture because I'm really innovative when it comes to like the reason why I'm so good with branding and brand development is because that's the side of my brain that I use. So when I was a young boy, I remember I wanted to be an architect. That was like my dream thing is because I like to draw and build and develop things. So that's kind of the part of the brain that I use. So if I could go back 10, 15, 20 years, something in the engineering department, the architecture department, and definitely at least one more language. So it'd be English, Spanish, and Chinese would be that one, or simplified Chinese or Cantonese or something like that. Whichever the biggest one is 2 things that I would go back and do. I wouldn't change who I am or what I am now, but those things would make me a lot better because I could go to China. Like China is huge. I could speak fluently, which would make me a ton of money and it would be easier to navigate. And then with the engineering and architecture background, you could really make big plays. Like I just reviewed, I don't want to spoil too much about this product. I just reviewed this product today on the channel. I have a few of them laying around. I love this product. You guys know I'm a geek for good products and good companies. This company sold in 2014. It was actually Nest Technologies. And the 2 partners that founded this company were Apple engineers. So like when you have an engineering background and you have an architectural background, like so many of us have good ideas, but we don't know the process of taking that idea and like mechanizing it or making it real or making it like putting it on black and white to where somebody can actually go make it. That process sounds easier than it is to actually do. And I feel like that's held me back on a few really good ideas that I've had. So that's the context behind that. Would you start selling on Amazon from scratch today with shipping concerns? I wouldn't really say there's any shipping concerns like that. It's kind of like a self-limiting belief. Like shipping is very expensive internationally. There's always going to be different things that are going on politically and economically that are going to hinder the business or slow things down. However, this is a large business. And I often tell people, like in my lectures and my trainings, like, this is not an Amazon business. It's a supply and demand business, and it's a distribution channel. Like, you guys are building a real business. You're building a real brand. And we're just using Amazon for the supply chain, for the distribution, and for the client attraction mechanism, right? Because designing a product, building a product, creating a product is one part of the business. Then you have two other parts. You have distribution, and then the third one is client attraction. So what people don't understand about Amazon, why it's so magnificent, is because you could literally find a product, introduce the product, create a product, and you can go on this business for next to nothing, this platform for next to nothing, partnering with a $1 trillion company, utilizing their resources and having the same advantage of other $1 trillion companies. Google is a $1 trillion company. This one product on Amazon alone does $50 million per year. This one product alone for Google does $750 million to $1 billion per year, one product. This is something that solves an issue. This is a product that adds value. This is a private labeled product. This is a product that somebody created. They went and found a supplier. The supplier made it. They buy it significantly lower than what they sell it for, and they're using different distribution channels. A distribution channel would be Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. So simply, we're able to compete with some of the largest companies in the world, and we have the same accessibility. We have the same potential to grow our business. We have access to the same resources as $1 trillion companies. Up until 1999, 2000, when Amazon really came and changed the game, nobody had that convenience. Nobody had that accessibility. You had to have a lot of money. It is very expensive to advertise on the newspaper and advertise on TV and on the radio. Other than that, you really couldn't grow brands. And like having an SEO background, it is very difficult to rank a website. PR is very difficult. PR is very expensive. Paid media or paid advertising through Facebook and Google, that's a skill set that you have to master. It's going to take years for you to learn. You're going to spend thousands of dollars trying to learn it. Other than that, there's no way to get publicity where you can have client attraction and distribution. On Amazon, you have distribution. You have the client attraction because their clients are coming there trying to buy your thing every single day. You have distribution. They're storing your product in their warehouse using their employees, picking, packing, shipping, using their boxes, their tape, their ink, and paying for shipping. And like, you can be a one-man or one-woman band running a 6 or 7 figure business. We made our first $1 million on Amazon. It was me and my wife, 2 people. Right? Like, you don't need a significant army or workforce or crazy background, or you don't have to be super smart. That's why I love the business. I don't think that it's going anywhere, right? So if I fast forward, let's just say from 2015 to 2000 now, I was just like smoking weed all day and just messing around and playing video games, and I got nowhere. And I was exactly where I was in 2015 or 2014. If I was given the same opportunity, I met the same people, I would do the exact same thing in a heartbeat, because it's the opportunity. If you're not where you want to be, the difference between where you are and where you want to be there's 2 things. There's only 2 variables, only 2. Number 1 is you need to identify the opportunity. Number 2, you need to take action on the opportunity. The Bible says, which is one of the oldest books that exists, faith without works is dead. You can be faithful about your life changing, faithful about your net worth increasing, faithful about your life improving and the quality of your life improving. However, if you're not looking for the opportunity, identifying the opportunity, taking action on the opportunity, that's the faith without works is dead, then you're not going to get any results. So the 3-step, very easy step, and the gift I will give to you right now, the 3-step formula or framework to being successful at anything and everything that you want to, is number 1, identify the opportunity. Number 2, take action on the opportunity. Number 3, do not give up on the opportunity until you get the results that are desired. And then when you understand how desirable outcomes work, if you have a desirable outcome, this is a desirable outcome is here. If you place an excuse or a self-limiting belief on the other side of desirable outcome, the desirable outcome is impossible to become true. It's a principle, right? Like, what goes up must come down. This is a principle. It is a law that cannot be altered unless you are of a different planet. Therefore, this principle, this law cannot be changed. It does not matter who you are. If my desirable outcome is I want to improve the quality of my life, and then the excuse as to why you're not identifying the opportunity, taking action on the opportunity, and doing the thing until it works is I'm lazy, I'm tired, I have 4 kids, I'm a single parent, I have anxiety, I'm stressed, I lost my money, I'm not making money fast enough, or any self-limiting belief or force of average that you are believing, then the desirable outcome will never come true. It never will. Never. And you can be the most positive, faithful, religious person. You can listen to the most podcasts on the universe. It does not matter if you go from Hinduism to Buddhism to Christianity to the Muslims. Even the Quran talks about this. And then you go to Scientology, and whatever you believe in, it all has around the same preface: faith without works is dead. Basically, you can believe. However, if you genuinely don't believe, you can't conceive. That's like all this stuff makes sense. That's like the biggest hack in life. And that's why, like, I tell people all the time, I'm not smart. I'm not better than you. I'm not smarter than you. I wasn't born in a better family than you. When I started, wasn't a better time than right now. The thing is, I identified an opportunity, and I was going to look until I found one. I took action on the opportunity, and I don't care if I had to beg for food, beg for money, shovel snow, ring a bell in front of Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning to get vouchers, go beg at Center Township for vouchers to pay for my rent, work 2 jobs, not have a life, not party, not do what I wanted to do. I was willing to do all of those to be where I am, and that's why I am where I am, right? So you have to have that level of sacrifice and that level of dedication in order to be where you are. Like, I'm not going to sell you guys a pipe dream, and I'm not going to sugarcoat a turd. Like, entrepreneurship is not easy. That's why 1% of the universe is rich. That's it. It's not because the stuff is so, like, it's crazy. Like, you have to, like, wait till a unicorn flies by and then, like, tackle them to become successful. No, you guys know how to become successful. You know what real estate is. You guys know what the stock market is. You guys know what physical products are. You guys know all this stuff. The thing is, you dabble, you dabble, you dabble. Oh, this took too long. Oh, I lost money. Oh, my family doesn't approve. And all these little things happen, and then you give up on yourself. So you identified an opportunity, took action on the opportunity, but you gave up on the opportunity. Or you identified an opportunity presents itself, you don't take action on the opportunity, therefore you can't even get to step number 3. It's one of those 3 variables, and it has to be one of those 3 variables as to why you are where you are and why you're not where you want to be. All right, that was a little complex. Hopefully you guys got that. Is there like a gathering in person certain time of the year where Amazon sellers gather? Not really. A lot of people go to ASD, which is like a trade show where a lot of suppliers and manufacturers and stuff go to. It was in Las Vegas last time I went. However, in that, man, pretty much everybody's just on the internet. We have an amazing free Facebook group, which you guys can join. But pretty much social media and different groups. Do you handle A to Z launch for your clients, and what do the clients have to do? Yeah, so we have different managers that work in different divisions of the business. So the way the business works is you find a product, that's one division. Then there is product development and product validation. And then once you get past that phase, which is another department, then you have the product launch, and then you have the sustainable stage, which is product or account management and account or brand scaling, right? So there's 4 different divisions, and there's managers who are experts who are all trained underneath me, certified underneath me, and who went through all of my trainings and have their own businesses of their own, work underneath me, and I work with them. We hop on meetings every single Monday. We have Slack channels, and then our clients communicate with the different managers depending on where they are in the business via Asana, which is like the motherboard for your entire business, right? Some clients, I'm assuming you're referring to AMZ Together, which is where we work with you to help you pretty much build the brand, where you can be on hand as you want to. So you could be like, hey, dude, hit me up when you're done, or like, yo, I want to help with the logo. I want to help with this. I want to get a sample and help with the product development. Like, depending on where you are, some people are just strictly investors. Some people want to do this business. They believe in this business, and they feel that it is worth utilizing the resources to expedite the process and have experts hold their hand during the entire process, right? So that's pretty much how that works. And again, like, I see a few people asking about like what we offer and stuff. There's a free link where you can schedule a free call. Like, there's nothing, no weird or funny business. It's a 15-minute call. On that call, we will answer any questions that you have about the business. We will answer questions in regards to the different programs. We don't have like 8 websites out there. However, we have tons of different programs. Many of them are tailored exactly to your business needs and where you are financially, right? Because everybody has different, everybody has access to different credit, access to different finances. Everybody has different goals. So we no longer just go on here and we're like, hey, buy my course. My course is the best, so on and so forth. Not everybody wants a course. I'm not a course guy. I want to talk to an expert. I want you to tell me what to do. I want to learn through us doing this thing together. That's the type of person I am. Some people are like, I have the money, build my thing, right? So it's like, it depends what you want, what type of person you are, what access to resources you have, like what your goals are. So if you're interested in starting the business or working with our team, you want to learn about the programs, from programs to consulting to Amazon done for you solutions and together solutions, all you got to do is schedule a call, because I don't come on here to sell anything. All right. There's a link to schedule a call. It's one product away. I think oneproductawaycall.com. The link is up on the screen. Cool. Time is up, guys, but there's a ton of people right here. How many likes do we have on YouTube? Can you see? I'll take a few more questions if the like count is equal to the viewers. So we need to see how many likes there are. And if you have not liked the video yet and you have not subscribed, do so right now. Hit subscribe, and we can do it like, let's time it together. Subscribe, like, bell. That was like what, 1 second, 2 seconds? Subscribe, like, bell. Subscribe, like, bell. In that order. Subscribe, like, bell. All right, we got 41. Dude, the like ratio is super low. This is free information. We need that like thing to get to at least 40. So everybody who's watching who hasn't smashed the like button, let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, like. We should see it go up. And if we see it go up to 40, I'll answer 5 more questions. Or we'll cut it short and I'll go play Call of Duty. Either or works for me. Also, again, guys, we sell nothing here on the channel. Every Mondays, we drop new videos, new value videos. Every Wednesday, we have new videos in our 7-figure product series where I'm literally buying stuff like this, reviewing it, successful brands are doing, showing you how to find these products, showing you how to analyze how much money you need for inventory, how much money you need to launch these products, how much these products cost to launch and to manufacture, and where to find manufacturers and how to find manufacturers and how to improve these products. Pretty much everything, right? And I do it for free, and that is every Friday. So you want to make sure that you are first to market so you can be first to dollar. The easiest way to do that is make sure you're subscribed and you have that bell clicked. The bell is so important because the bell is like, yo, check this video out. This is free, and it's going to make you a ton of money if you execute on this stuff, right? So it's very, very important. We good on the likes? 33 likes. All right, cool, guys. Everybody hit the like button. We'll answer a few more questions. How would you approach wanting to build and sell a brand separate from your other, I'm guessing, subsidiaries? So every brand that you build, every product that you launch, you start with the end in mind. So when you're playing chess, the first move should be connected to the last move, right? So this is chess and not checkers. So when you're starting a business, you're starting a brand, you're starting a product, you should already be thinking about selling it, right? When you have that theory, or when you have that mythology of way of operating, everything is going to be done to the best of its ability, right? To sell a business, you have to focus on EBITDA, EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, and appreciation or depreciation, a fancy word kind of for profit. So in order to do so and to have increased in valuations, you need to have, as much intellectual property as possible, like phone numbers, emails, contact information. Your packaging has to be on point. Your product has to be selling. It has to be performing. You have to have congruent social media pages. If you do all these things in the beginning stages, it's going to be easier to sell. And I think that all businesses should one day be sold. Like, the purpose of the business is to cash flow and then sell, or to cash flow and then pass on to someone else who's going to manage it, or, find some type of way to tap into the potential. That way you can do what it is that you want to do in life or in business. How do I get a tracking number when sending SPD lost boxes by ocean from China? How do I get a tracking number when sending SPD lost boxes by ocean from China? I'm not sure what you mean, like, but if you're sending stuff to China, whoever the carrier is will give you the tracking, and if you're sending stuff from China, whoever the carrier is will give you a tracking. So I'm not sure what the question is or like how to answer that. How do we get our products on the top of the first page and get them high 5-star ratings? How do you become rich fast? How do you become rich fast with little to no effort? No, I'm just joking. All jokes aside. So that would be like an hour training right there. So essentially, to answer this question in less than 60 seconds, rank rank is basically who is selling the most amount of units. So you have rank for different keywords, right? So if I'm typing in smart thermostat, I want to rank number 1. That means when people type in smart thermostat, I have to sell more than the person who's number 1 if I'm number 2 to take his place, and I have to do so consecutively for several days. That's how the rank works. So how do you do this? You have a really good product. You have a product that people want. You have a product that's in demand. You have brand recognition, brand depth. You have depth of market. You're running exterior traffic. Basically, you're doing as much as humanly possible to be better than your competition. It's more than just finding a product, lowering the price, increasing the quantity, changing the color, slapping it on there, and like praying, right? Which is what a lot of people do, or they run an auto campaign at like $20 and then they're like, why am I not making money and rich, right? So there's a lot that goes into it for the ranking. Basically and essentially, make sure that your listing is optimized. Make sure everything is as best as humanly possible. Your photos, your title, your description. Make sure the product's good. Here's another thing. You can't be the best if your product is not the best. You can't like be the best if your product sucks. This product is epic, right? Like Apple's products are epic. That's why they're the best. So your product has to be epic. You can't just undercut everybody on price and then launch bullcrap to the marketplace because you wanted to make as much money as possible and didn't want to invest in the product. For instance, one of my products slaps so hard because I spend more money on my packaging than anyone else. I can say that confidently because I've ordered everybody's box. My packaging is more giftable, higher quality, more premium, and sexier than every person that sells in my category. Everyone. Like that's what you have to do. If you want to be number 1. Now you can make a ton of money and not be number 1, but if you're number 1, you can make a stupid amount of money if you're in the right category. In reference to reviews, there's tons of ways to get reviews. Like, oh man, there's so many different ways to get reviews. Number 1, the best one is if you already have an industry, like if you already have dominance in an industry, or you already have a list, or you already have users, or you already have customers. That's the easiest way. If not, and you're brand new and you're nobody, you start through friends, family, colleagues. Like you start with your network. Make sure you're using package stuffers in your products, asking for reviews, not asking or incentivizing for positive reviews, but emphasizing how important reviews are. If you're using Jungle Scout, which is the tool that I use to find these products, has a bunch of awesome stuff in there as well. They have a review automation tool inside of there, which gets us about 20% more reviews. And simply in Amazon, you can go into your listing underneath your purchase history and you can manually request a review. It is a pain in the rear and nobody does it because nobody knows how to do it or they forget to do it. Amazon has an automation where you click a button, you choose the product, and they bug the person until they get a review for a series of several days. It's called review automation through Jungle Scout. Those guys are rock stars and have given us a discount. So if you guys don't have a software, you're trying to find your first product or your next product, or like maybe you already have products, but you're not getting a ton of reviews, like that review automation is worth the money by itself, right? So you can get a discount on that software by going to discountonjunglescout.com. And you need it. Like there's 250 million products. You need to analyze these metrics. You need to analyze the data. Like there's all types of cool stuff. You can run P&Ls and all types of stuff. So we talk about it on the channel and we teach it here on the channel. It's in my programs as well. Cool. Let's do one more. If my product typically gets packaged into a poly bag, is that fine or should I get into a box? Abe, so here's the thing, like here's a perfect example. Here's a product that's crushing it, that's inside of a poly bag. This poly bag goes into a Amazon box. So here's the thing. I'm like, this is a biased answer because I'm a box guy. Unless you're doing stupid, crazy, high, ridiculous volume where you need to shave pennies in order to make the money that you need to make because you're low margin because of the volume and because of the industry. I love boxes. I just personally like boxes. That is a personal, like, if you have it in this or this, it's not going to make you more money. It's just a personal opinion. So why should you choose a box over a poly? This thing is not going to be broken. It's kind of like broken proof, like break proof, and it's going to go in an Amazon box. You're not gifting an extension cord thing, so it's not really giftable. But you want to think about like practical ways why you should use a box. Is it going to protect your product? Is your product giftable? Are you trying to sell a product and be a premium product? It's hard to be a premium product in a poly bag. Like, think about logical reasons as to why you would want a box. And if any of those check and it makes sense and you're still within your margin, then do it. But if it like lowers your margin 8% and your product isn't giftable and it's not going to protect it, then it doesn't make sense, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I think we're good, man. You guys absolutely rock. If you guys got any value whatsoever, guys, smash that like button. If this is your first time to the channel or you've been on the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, guys, it takes so like little effort and it like has exponential results for me. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you just smash the subscribe button, click the notification bell, like the video. Like, when you guys watch the videos, like, drop comments down below. Let me know what you think about the videos. Let me know what videos you want to see. I read all the comments. I respond to all the comments. So I love the feedback and I love doing this. So hopefully we continue to do this. If people keep showing up, you guys are getting value from it. Chances are we'll continue to do it. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And yeah, we have all the links will be down below. So if you want access to 30% off Jungle Scout, if you haven't gotten my new book, make sure you grab my new book. It's super cheap and super valuable. And yeah, if you're interested in starting or growing this business and you want to talk to a member of my team, see what we offer and how we can help, as well as get some of your questions answered about programs, pricing, all that good stuff, make sure you go to oneproductawaycall.com. That link is also in the description down below. And I'll see you guys next week. Remember, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, new video. Every Friday is a live video. See you guys next time. You're only one product away.